We're live. Good
Okay,
morning.
we're live. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Explore Mixed Media with Laurie, Corrine, and Terry. I am Terry Jones,
I'm Corinne
and
Farfino.
we are going to explore watercolor today. So, I am going to, since I have successfully, I'm going to try to put the live chat up so I can see if Laurie's in the live chat, but I don't see that working for me. Anyway,
Yeah.
not yet. Okay. Um, so today we're going to play with what we did last week and kind of go more forward with it. I'm going to put my camera down and to the down mode. And why don't I see myself as
Okay,
so
I
I
see our table. Oh, look at those. That looks fun.
okay, this is and I'm trying and I'm supposed to be on speaker view, right? I don't know why yep, I'm on speaker view. So
Okay.
and anyway, do you see my table? Because all I
Yes,
see
I
is your
do.
table. Okay. Um, so we're supposed to be gallery view next to each other, right?
I can see you, gallery
There.
view. I can see both of us.
Okay, I can see both of you too. Okay. So these are two that I've just done. This is what I kind of came up with, what I just kind of practiced on another couple scraps that I had. So, and this was done with a lot of the tools that we will do today. This one I felt like I was like, what is it, Betty Franks. I was morphed Betty
Yeah.
Franks in somehow. And this one was just one that I came up with on my own, kind of a very abstract, semi-abstract, joyful landscape. So what I'm going to do today is I've got my pieces from last week, and we're going to figure out how we want to create more interest in them. And a lot of times I just start in with various tools, but for tools, I've got the Stabilo pens, I've got the Posca markers, I've got these are actually some watercolor markers. I've got crayons from Marabou. I've got the aquacolor. I have all sorts of tools. The Derwent watercolor pencils, the crayons. I also have a set of Hydrus Fine Art watercolors, which by Dr. Martens, which are really good to if I want to put a wash in somewhere. And then I have what I started with last week. So I guess I just have to start in on something. And
Okay.
my
And Terry, can you admit Lori, please?
I can admit Lori. Here's Lori. Okay, so we have Lori. So what do you have? It looks like you went a little farther with some of yours, Corrine, than I
Well, I
did.
started to play, but so I have my watercolor, and then I also have Derwent watercolor pencils. I've got some watercolor crayons, Faber-Castell. Got some neocolors. I have my Kuretake watercolors out there, more of an opaque.
Yeah, yeah.
See what I could do with those, and I have some Posca pens, and that's where I'm headed today.
Okay. My Kuretake I left at home at the studio, of course, but I do have my gouache out too, and it's over there. I used gouache in one of the ones I showed you. So we will start.
Okay.
I'm not sure if Laurie's still having problems.
She's
I'll
here. Hopefully she'll get her video on.
Yeah, hopefully she'll get her video on. So a lot of times I just jump in and just work intuitively, and at other times I kind of think of what I'm doing. So it's funny. Here, this one here that I did, I jumped in and worked intuitively, and I'm not really sure. It took me a long time to get it to work. This one here, I did a little design first, and I kind of like it a little better. So, but how I can sometimes do design is that I will take a piece of, this is the clear Duralar,
Mhm.
And I can put a piece of clear Duralard on here and maybe think of coming up with a composition of some sort. It's not a necessity, but sometimes it's something that I use a lot for a tool. I'm not sure if I'm going to use it right now. Um, I'm still in a thinking mode. So, got what we got. Okay, the other thing that I do like to do is sometimes end up with a little, I could also use a watercolor on this or use a gouache on it. But I
I'm
think
just
I'm
gonna
gonna,
play and see where it goes.
yeah, I think that's what I'm
I'm
gonna
not gonna
do.
plan today.
4 o'clock next Friday.
Okay, so what I'm going to try to do, oops, and that's what I forgot. I forgot something that I could mix some colors in. So I have to get a palette. I can get the top of my watercolor palette will work. And I'm going to take a little bit of gouache here, and I'm just going to see what happens if I use a stencil a little bit and put a little bit of gouache in. So again, it's just very exploratory. I want the colors to show through nicely. I'm going to put a little bit of a blue gouache down. These haven't even ever been open. So this would be very similar to your Kuretake.
Okay, and you're gonna try it through a stencil?
I'm going to try it through the stencil. We'll see. What I have is one of those,
Hmm.
it's actually called a watercolor eraser. So
Yeah,
we'll see how this works. I had thought that I would try something interestingly different. And so I'm going to put the gouache out and add a little bit of water with,
I have gouache. Let's find it.
yeah, and add a little bit of water so it's kind of a little on the thick side. Now this is pretty dark, but it's like an ultramarine.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Oh, I can see
Hey,
I'm starting to,
I'm trying to try. So I'm on my phone because my computer, which worked this morning, by the way, now doesn't work.
that nail doesn't work. And so your phone, you have to get it focused.
Yeah, my husband says he's going to work on it on the weekend and figure it. I got video driver issues,
Ah, okay.
but
So
you can't even see what I'm doing, can you? It's really blurry.
it's very blurry, but it's very far away, or it's like you only catch the corner of it, Lori.
Right, I know. So
Yeah. So we're going to see how this works. I'm going to try to use a little bit of this gouache as almost as a stamp with a little bit of. Now, so the gouache theoretically is kind of like the Curiate, which is that it will, it is opaque. So I'm just seeing what happens if I put a little bit of this up in this little corner.
did you put any water with your gouache?
I had to put a little bit of water with the gouache. And then I'm going to take the same thing and see if where I put the water on, whether literally I'm using all of my tools that I used for, and I'm going to see if I can give it another. Well, it's interesting. It didn't do what I wanted. I wanted the script to show, but that's okay. So I can also play with this gouache and use it too. This is very dark color, but maybe I want to um, add some dark somewhere. And then, so this almost looks very watercolory to me. It doesn't look as gouache as I thought it would look. So I'm I'm not happy with that. But let's see what happens if I try another process. So trying processes to me are just what I always think. See, now that worked kind of removing. I kind of like that corner. So now I've got that corner with a blue. So I've got some darks going. I found that I was running a little, I needed more in the way of some darks somewhere. But let me see if this will. How did yours work?
Well, if I use just a damp sponge, like hardly any water on it,
Right.
and I pick up these more opaque Kuretake, it gives a light, and I just grabbed whatever stencil was sitting on the desk.
Right.
I do get these shapes coming out.
Yeah, I do like those shapes coming out. That is interesting. Mine, I think the problem was the script one that I picked. The one here with the circles worked a little better. Now I want to see though if I can. I ended up with a really hard line here, and I want to see if I can soften that line a little bit. It did end up with very hard edge there, but gouache doesn't soften quite as much as watercolors, but that's kind of interesting. I'm working on I'm just continuing to kind of work in some of the areas here. Now I also I have these watercolor. I feel like mine's way too pastel. And so I have some of these watercolor, fine art watercolors. So I might end up coming and seeing what happens if I do a little bit of negative painting. So if I just use this and make a shape around, and this is a trick I think Tracy Vertigo uses, but she uses it more
Yeah.
with acrylic ink, but I really liked it when I saw her doing it. I think the watercolors are very intense. Look how they just kind of woo, really go. And so suddenly my what looked like some pretty intense area now looks very pale. Look, remember how intense that looked? Now it's very, very pale. But hey, let's see what happens with it. I'm gonna give it a little more. I'm gonna let it run a bit, and maybe even run a bit down into here. I like the pattern that's coming there. I want to see about running a little more this way. I like the red. I mean, it's just a really beautiful red, but might be a little intense. But
I think I'm going to turn my camera off so that I'm not taking up space, since you can't tell what I'm doing anyway.
okay, are you gonna?
I'll stay here. I'll just be here verbally.
Okay. Well,
I
can
just
you?
don't. I want you guys to be featured where they can see it, not like some blurred screen.
Well, maybe you'll be able to do like Janet does sometimes and hold up your piece after you finish it.
Yeah, maybe.
After we finish, yeah. So I'm going to kind of keep on going here with a different color, and I'm not sure what it's going to be. I want more, Lori, but now I just see.
I
Can
know. I know.
Yeah, I wonder if I can admit you as voice only.
Yeah, see, I don't want you to spend a lot of time on that. I don't want to distract, but
Okay.
Sorry.
I don't know how to. I don't know why
Yeah,
this.
don't worry about it. Just carry on.
Yeah, okay. So I'll just carry on. Okay. So, this is fun. This is just, so Neil, this is all very wet again. And I'm going to use that wetness to just come on back down around here. And I'm not really sure what I'm doing, so, but not really sure what I'm doing is fine. Because as Corinne says, we just experiment with shapes. And I'm going to come in again with, are you using your Curiate
I am, and I just used a watercolor crayon.
crayon? Yeah.
And I used a watercolor pencil, and I'm really just, and I used the Kiratakis with the stencils. I'm just trying to play and see the different effects that I get with everything,
Uh-huh.
more so than worry about a finished product.
Yeah, I think that that's kind of where I'm
Today
going to
I'm just
go.
exploring.
That's where I'm going to go to. Now this is the Art Shimmer crayon by Marabou. And I'm not sure what this does. I'm just going to take some water and so this, oh, that's interesting. I don't really see it shimmering that much, but maybe. Okay, I got to get some color in here. I'm feeling like it's getting too pale. So let's just see what happens if. I don't know why it's feeling so. So I'm going to echo what I already have there in places. And then I'm gonna going very curvy with this guy. Don't know why.
Hmm?
I seem to be going very curvy. Usually I'm much more linear, and I seem to be coming up with these semi-flowers. Now, I don't like that three-leaf.
Not like you.
Huh? I know, it's not like me. I'm like, what am I doing? But that's okay. I'll stamp this in another place. So, one of the beauties with this, I think, is that we can just do things that are not like us and kind of just start playing with some of this beautiful, to me, it's a very fluid color, that whether we're using the fluid right now, I'm working with some fluid watercolors. And I'm just kind of letting them all bloom, however. And I may, what color was that? That's the,
Another one.
oh, that was the thing. So maybe I want to try a little phthalo blue here. But this, I think I want to go more in leaf shapes. Then you also have to remember where your paper's damp. Because the thing with watercolors is that your paper, if it's damp, the watercolors are going to kind of run. But I'm making very intense colors happen here.
And what are you using?
This is the Dr. Martin's Hydrus watercolors.
Okay.
so they're more ink-like. I think I've used them, and maybe I should pull one out. I've used them before with the fountain pens,
Mhm.
which might be an interesting way to use these. So now I'm looking for my fountain pen, which nothing's ever exactly where I put it last time. But I've used them to kind of write script with the fountain pens,
Mhm.
and it works really well with the watercolor on watercolor. You can also, like here, this is just so I might take something and just, this is just using a stick and giving it a little more interesting energy. Huh. Where's my brush that I was using? It was black. It was fun. It's mine. Oh, there's one. So I've used them before with the, where did I take, there it is. As a pen, like ink,
Mhm.
where I just dip my pen in, and then I can write with it. So I kind of like that at times too, giving me a different texture. But look how it just kind of, they just, ooh. My problem right now is I've got a little bit too much of different weird stuff happening here. It's all been interesting, but now the trick of getting a little bit cohesive in this whole area is going to be a trick. So let me see what I can do with that. Where's my black brush? I think there it is. So it's making a gorgeous green there. Okay. Okay, now I've got this area that I tried to put the script in that I do not like. And maybe it's really wet in here, so maybe I should go to another one of my spots. Really feel like I need to make this come out farther though. So this one's getting so intense and the other ones were so kind of quiet. The other ones I did before. I think maybe I used too much of the watercolor the hydrous watercolors. Possibly I should have used less. I just was not prepared for them to be quite as intense as they are.
Mhm.
But we will continue on with something here. And the wonders of gouache and the wonders of a lot of the stuff is I can make it kind of, I don't want to say disappear, but I can paint over it and I can get my whites back if I want. So I'm going to go to the next one. I like your patterns. You have very, very,
Oh, I don't know, I'm just playing with the patterns.
yeah,
Thank you.
you're very quiet.
I guess that's where I am in life right today.
Yeah, and I'm trying to get this very bold,
Quiet.
but what's next?
Messy. But we'll try and figure something out.
I'm going to try some of these, see what happens with these markers, the watercolor markers. If I just start making some pattern with them, just kind of filling in. Kind of like you did on your side over there, that
Mhm.
on your top one where you did,
Yeah,
yeah.
this one came out really good.
Just throw some pattern in. And see what happens if then I take a little bit of, I hate only putting it in one place. So I'm putting another pattern somewhere else. These are nice because they're not super intense. They kind of will blend in with the watercolors, whereas that hydrous stuff just goes wild. I can make some webby patterns in here. What happens if I try another color? That one's really dark. Don't know if that's where I want to go yet. I do feel like I need more pattern in here. Sometimes this is more like doodling than just doodling with shapes.
That one's a mess. This one has potential. That one's a mess.
That's kind of where I feel about a couple of mine here. Some of them have potential
But
and
it's good to explore and
yeah.
figure out
Well, and a lot
what
of times,
things do.
I start big like this
Mm-hmm.
so that I can then go
Crop it.
small, yeah, crop it or make it something different, so I can do a little more in the way of exploring, but I don't have to. I can use what I have and see how it's gonna work. You know, I don't know. These crayons have never been opened. So here's my thing here. So this one over here is looking really jungly, and it might actually work if I decide to put some collage on it. We'll see. I'm not really sure. And I want to see what happens if I just put a little bit of one of these crayons in and activate it.
Going nowhere. That
Oh,
one's
that's a
soft.
pretty color. Hmm.
Okay, so we're at time, so can you just recap for us the?
Oh, we're at time already. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Well, what we've got, what we did was we just started with a background of watercolor, and we're just exploring more a different layer with some different tools. We're doing watercolor pencils, crayons, art crayons, a little bit of hydrous fine liquid watercolors. We've just played. And we can continue to take these farther. We can use them as collage fodder. We can do a lot of different things, but we're learning how the water media projects work together. So that's it. And join us next week. Next week, we're going to do something different, and we're going to do it. We're going to use some watercolor straight out of the tube, and we're going to kind of react, put it on paper, and then activate it a little and see what kind of energy we can get with that. And it's going to be an interesting project too. So join us next week. And if you like what we're doing, join our Explore Mixed Media Patron group at www.exploremixedmedium.com. It's only $7 a month, and you get a project and a paint along with us. So come join our fun. So thank you so much, Corrine. I appreciate. Oh, I really do like the patterns that you've got with the little dots on that bottom one. I really like that. Yeah.
that's the one I actually like.
Yes, I really, really, really like that one. That
Thank
one
you.
is looking very nice. I think it's just going to take some time for the other ones, or
Yeah.
as I said, they make great collage paper
Mhm.
for different things. So more will be revealed. And I will post some when I get some finished. I will post my finished pieces. Okay?
Sounds great. Well, thanks
Thank
so
you
much
so
for
much
leaving
for
us,
joining us.
Terry.
Oh, thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye. See you next week.